2.
Hey folks, welcome to Spanish Fork 17. We've got a great baseball game here for you today. We've got the Spanish Fork Dons up against the Bingham Miners. This is a non-region game. Bingham in 6A and Spanish Fork in 5A. So a fun non-region matchup, starting to get things ready for conference play here, region play here at the end of the month. We're actually starting off with Maple Mountain, which is a lot of fun. But so the Dons will be dealing with the Miners here today. The Dons sitting at 1-4 so far on the season.
Batting fourth, the shortstop, number 9.
Able to come away with a win in their last day over in St. George, Utah.
The left fielder, number 4, Tyson McBride.
Coming away with the win against Canyon View.
They
did lose a close game to Syracuse as part of that tournament as well. And then in their last game, another extra innings loss. That one 3-2 against Cottonwood. So hoping for a little bit more momentum coming into this one here against the Miners. They'll then be going up against Sky Ridge on Monday. And so a nice string of games here. Hopefully get themselves ready for Region A play. A view of Will Dart on the mound. He will be starting today here for Spanish Fork. Tegan Scott in the start earlier this week against Cottonwood. Pitched a pretty good game against the Mustangs, against the Colts, my apologies. Ended up with 6 innings pitched in that one, only allowing the 2 runs. One of them earned, had 5 strikeouts. So definitely a better appearance for him than the showing that he ended up having down in St. George. So Tegan Scott hopefully starting to get things on track for the season, and hopefully a nice game here for Dart to be able to get a couple innings in as well before they head into Region 8 play. Starting things off here for the Miners is going to be Dylan Frank. He'll be followed by Cam Beck and then Andrew Dabo.
Dylan Frank.
Bingham on the season's not been too bad. Let me pull up their stats here for you. So they are 1-1 on the season. So they took a win against Taylorsville 11-1 in their first game. As that one is going to be sent over to third. The play made over at first, and that will be out number 1 here in the ball game. So 11-1 against Taylorsville, and then a 10-8 loss against Layton just yesterday. So a busy week of baseball so far for Bingham, as they've
number 3, Cam
this will be their third game in this week. So a fun stretch here for the Miners. So 1 out will bring up Cam Beck, their third baseman. So that was the first pitch strike there to Cam Beck. I'm going to take it upstairs for a ball. Count now is 2-2 here on Cam Beck. And having a little bit of scoreboard stuff going on, so I'll do my best to keep tabs on things in terms of where we're at with balls and strikes and things. Again, this is Andrew LaRose, just a solo cast here today, so I hope you get used to my voice. I hope I get used to my voice. The 3-2 is sent high out into left center field. That thing is carrying, and it is going to be out of the ballpark for a solo shot for Cam Beck. That's a great way for the Miners to start things off here with the 1-out home run. Had to make sure he got the indication from the from the umpire, but that did in fact go over that center field wall, and it's pretty deep out there, 404 out to straight center. So a deep blast to get the offense rolling here for the Miners. The score now 1-0 after the solo home run by Cam Beck.
Now batting the second baseman, number 16, Andrew Dabo.
It certainly helps that got a fairly healthy wind basically blowing straight out to kind of help keep these balls up in the air for a little bit longer. That looked like a decently well-hit ball, but yeah, just definitely kind of carried up and just kind of kept sailing as that one is fouled away by Andrew Dabo. Now we'll move the count here to 1 strike on him. So a solo shot by Cam Beck and a ground out by Dylan Frank, starting things off here in the top of the first for the Bingham Miners. You'll watch a pitch go on the outside part of the plate for strike 2. Abraham Atencio due up next here for the Miners. Tries to hold off on that one. They do say that he swung, and that will be strike 3. So first strikeout of the game for Will Dart. Now 2 outs here in the top of the first. They'll bring up their cleanup hitter, Abraham Atencio.
Now batting the shortstop, number 9, Abraham Atencio.
A solid start to the season so far for Atencio, batting .600. So 3 out of his 8 plate appearances have ended in a hit. Well, 3 out of 5 in his at-bats, and he's walked 3 times. And so a really good start to the season for the shortstop senior for the Miners. He'll wave at that first pitch for a strike. 4 RBIs already in this young season for Bingham. Takes another big hack for strike 3, and that will be the end of the top of the first. 2 strikeouts for Will Dart. Does give up the big solo blast to Cam Beck to get the offense rolling for Bingham. The score 1-0 after the top of the first. As we move on over to the bottom half of the inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Lance Wilson State Farm, 2 Jacks Pizza, MVP Sports, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Thanks for tuning in today on Spanish Fork 17 for this ball game, whether it's on the channel or on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. Be sure to click that subscribe button and join our Spanish Fork 17 family. We've got all sorts of great content on there, including Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain High School sports, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, volleyball. Heck, we've even got some crazy stuff like cornhole and spikeball on there. So go ahead and check us out, youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. So nice job there by Dart to calm things down after that solo home run by Cam Beck, able to get Dabo and Atencio down on strike. So a nice solid bounce back there for Will Dart, who again is taking on a little bit more of the pitching responsibilities this year. Is kind of ramped up to a place where now he's kind of the number 2 starter on the staff here for Coach Nelson. Tegan Scott, a guy that's got some good experience, so he's kind of the ace, as you will, this season. But Will Dart is certainly going to be leaned on to have lots of good pitching appearances here this year. And again, after allowing that solo home run, did a nice job of just mowing him down and getting a really good control of the strike zone. So getting a view here of Bingham warming up. That's number 40, Ian Stanley, the starter today for the Miners. And according to Max Preps, this is his first pitching appearance of the season. Makes sense, as they've only played 2 games, and so I guess he's kind of starter number 3 for them. So we'll see what
leading
he
off
has
for the Dons in the bottom of the first inning. The center fielder, number 37, Nixon Warren.
They are going to be starting things off here with Nixon Warren. He will be followed by Jackie Sorensen and Will Dart in inning number 1 here for Spanish Fork. First pitch by Stanley will be in there for a strike. That one will be low for a ball. That moves the count to 1 ball and 1 strike on Nixon Warren. Warren out in center field today for Spanish Fork. We'll watch another pitch go low and outside. So 2 balls and 1 strike. He'll lace this one. It'll kind of slowly dribble over towards the minor dugout. So it'll even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Warren batting .250 on the season. Has 3 hits and an RBI. Getting a chance here to start things off for Spanish Fork. The 2-2 from Stanley well outside. So now it'll be a full count on the Don center fielder. Again, fun to have some of these 6A schools come down to Spanish Fork and be able to play some different competition. Again, we also get to see a lot of different teams as part of the tournaments down there in St. George. Ended up playing Snow Canyon. Oh my gosh, the Warriors are something else this season. Feel bad for everyone that's in that particular region. That particular region in general, though, is just filled with just big baseball teams. As Warren will do his job as the leadoff guy and get himself on base here to start things off in the bottom of the first. Yeah, that region with Snow Canyon includes Desert Hills. It has Dixie. It has Crimson Cliffs. Like, I mean, they're absolutely stacked down there. It's a lot of fun to go down to those tournaments and see those teams, though. And got to see a team out of Arizona as well. Played the American Leadership Academy from Queen Creek, Arizona. That first game in the Kona Ice Classic down there in St. George. Jackson Sorensen shows bunt, pulls back, and that is going to get away from the Bingham catcher. It's Bauer Williams back there today for Bingham. So easy advance there for Nixon Warren, and he'll get himself into scoring position. Little moment also I saw there of coach readjusting some of the equipment. Want to make sure his catcher is nice and safe and secure. So the count 1-0 on designated hitter Jackie Sorensen. With Warren now in scoring position. Opportunity here for the Dons to strike back here in inning number 1. A pitch tickling the jersey there almost of Sorensen. Moves the count to 2 balls and no strikes. And a very good, solid wind, basically blowing right out to center field. Kind of right now, a little more right center. Time is called. Sorensen will step out, take a nice little practice swing, and then get himself sent up in the batter's box for another 2-0 pitch. Warren with the decent lead over there at second base. Again, got some wheels over there. The 2-0 is sent over to second. A pretty easy routine play over there for out number 1 of the inning. Does move Warren over to third base, so nice productive out there for Sorensen. And it will now bring up their star shortstop and pitcher for today, Will Dart.
The pitcher number 6, Will Dart.
Dart's having himself a fine start to the season, batting .500. 6 hits in his 12 at-bats so far, a double and a triple, and really was one of the main guys that saw some success down there in that tournament over in the Kona Ice Classic. So he'll watch that first pitch in there for a strike. Dart feels like he's been in the program forever because he kind of has. He's been a key contributor to this team since his freshman year, and so this is his senior year. We're expecting some big things from him. Honestly, he's just been such a great player. It's been a pleasure to call so many games and see him play. Plays an absolutely fantastic shortstop and very dangerous at the plate. The 1-1 is fouled away. It'll move the count now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 ball game. Solo shot by Cam Beck for the Miners, giving them the lead. But a runner over at third here for Spanish Fork. So a good opportunity with just one out to tie this ball game up. Oh, just clip the inside part of the plate for strike 3. First strikeout of the day for Ian Stanley. Will Dart will make his way back to the dugout. That one was a really nice pitch there, honestly, from Stanley. Just kind of catches the black, as you will, of the plate, kind of in that, like, is it a ball, is it a strike spot. But unfortunate break there for Dart. He'll go down on strikes. 2 outs now, and that one will be low and inside to Cal Nielsen. Nielsen batting cleanup today here for Spanish Fork. So far, batting 182 on the season, has a double and an RBI. He'll get a little piece of that one, fouls it away. So 1 ball and 1 strike on the Spanish Fork catcher. We highlighted his work in St. George as he was just so impressive from behind the plate. Every time he was catching, like, just very impressed with the work he does with the pitching staff and the work that he puts in just in general of the craft of catching, which is a lot compared to a lot of other positions out on the diamond, as that one is in there for a strike. So the count will move to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Excellent backstop, does a great job of blocking pitches, framing pitches, has a great arm, good pop-up time. Like, all the things you want out of a catcher, Cal Nielsen is exactly that behind the plate, which is so good for the Dons. He will watch yet another beautiful pitch that catches that inside part of the plate. Strike 3, 2 strikeouts for Ian Stanley. Strands the runner over there at third base. So 1-0 after 1 inning. We'll get you inning number 2 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It's inning number 2 of this one between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Bingham Miners. It's part of a non-region game here. Again, the Dons 1-4 so far on the young season, really hoping to find some momentum here against the Miners. The score is 1-0. A solo home run by Cam Beck, the lone run in this ball game. Otherwise, it's been a nice little inning of work so far for both pitchers. Ian Stanley and Will Dart both with 2 strikeouts apiece in that first inning. So see Dart getting warmed up here for inning number 2. It will be batters 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup here for Bingham.
Miners in the top of the second inning. Number 4, Tyson McBride.
Tyson McBride, Bauer Williams, and Talon Van Sickle due up here for Bingham. So not 6, 7, and 8, but 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup. First pitch will be low and outside there to McBride. Again, just the 3rd game of the season here for Bingham. All of that within this 1 week. A fly ball out to left field, corralled in by Lamson for out number 1.
Now batting the catcher, number 5, Bauer Williams.
It'll now be Bauer Williams for the Miners after the quick work done there to get McBride to fly out to left field. 1 out here in the top of the 2nd. Little lazy one that just finds its way up and out into the outfield. So a nice 1-out single there for the Miners catcher, Bauer Williams. Just the 2nd hit allowed by Dart. But it does give Bingham an opportunity here in inning number 2. Brings up Talon Van Sickle, their first baseman. And I absolutely love his bat. They hopefully maybe get a close-up on that at some point, but it is literally the coloring on it is a pencil. It's absolutely fantastic. He almost lays down a perfect bunt with it, just a little bit beyond out there into foul territory down that third base line. So there we go, nice view of that. Oh man, this has actually been a thing recently. I recently saw a major league player in spring training having a similar bat. It's just kind of fun. I love good bat design, and that one is certainly one. It kind of almost feels like it's right out of MLB The Show. Take a big healthy cut at that one for strike 3. You could say that he got erased in that particular at bat. So that'll be the third strikeout of the day for Will Dart. And I'll bring up the designated hitter Cooper Schott. So 2 outs in the top of the second inning. Runner on first. 1-0 ball game. Swing and miss there by the designated hitter Schott for strike 1. Schott batting .333. It hasn't had a ton of at-bats, just essentially 1 game's worth. Hit a double. Dart throws it over to first, and that will be the end of the top of the second inning as he's able to get it on over there for out number 3. Score stays at 1-0. Just 1 more hit allowed. Strands him over at first base. As we move on over to the bottom half of the second inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's 2 Jacks Pizza, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, and Lance Wilson State Farm. I want to remind you that MVP Sports has actually moved locations. They've also rebranded, as you got to see their new logo there. Looks pretty slick. I'm a big fan of it. But also, along with the new logo, they've got some new digs as well. They are now at 82 East, 900 North there in Spanish Fork. They've been there since the beginning of January. So be sure to check them out for all of your sporting goods needs here in Spanish Fork. And as always, got to enjoy some 2 Jacks Pizza before the ball game. Big fan. I basically go there every weekend. They just some fantastic pizza, fantastic people there too. So yeah, we love our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17, and enjoy that they get to make these broadcasts possible, and we get to bring you some awesome baseball here on the channel. As we're moving on, as I said, to the bottom half of the second. Ian Stanley getting ready here for a second inning of work. Was solid in his first inning, 2 strikeouts, allowing just the 1 walk to start things off to Nixon Warren. So he will be dealing with batters 5, 6, and 7 in the dawn lineup. That's Riley Lamson, Britt Nielsen, and Brecken Anderson that are going to be due up here in the bottom of the second inning for Spanish Fork.
Leading off for the Dons in the bottom of the second inning, the left fielder, number 9, Riley Lamson.
Lamson already involved in this ball game. Caught a fly ball in the top half of the inning. He's going to take a swing at one. It's going to be way up in the sky, shallow, just a bit beyond the infield dirt. The play will be made, and it will be out number 1 here in the bottom of the second. It'll pop up there, caught by Dabo to start things off in inning number 2. Brings up the first baseman, Britt Nielsen.
Now batting the first baseman, number 5, Britt Nielsen.
Nielsen cracks one out into center field, and the play will be made, and that's going to be 2 quick outs here in the bottom half of the inning. Does not get more efficient than that. 2 pitches and 2 outs. So if you're a fan of the pitch count, pitch count staying nice and low here so far for Stanley.
Anderson.
Brings up the third baseman, Brecken Anderson. He's going to watch that first pitch in there for a strike. Anderson with just one at bat so far on the season, according to Max Preps. So cool to see him getting the start here in this one. He's going to spray one out into right field, kind of in dangerous territory, but does find its way just beyond the foul line. Giving chase out there in right field was Blake Schaefer. Just about got to it, too. Said it'll just be a long trot back to the batter's box. He'll move the count to 0-2. So 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. 0-2 count on third baseman Brecken Anderson. The score is 1-0. Just a solo shot in the first for Bingham. Otherwise, no scoring on either side. Another one is fouled away. He'll dig back in the batter's box and keep things rolling with that 0-2 count. He slaps one out into, again, shallow center. Center fielder will call off his second baseman and make the play. Busy inning for Dylan Frank. Makes 2 plays out there. 1-2-3 inning for Ian Stanley. The score stays 1-0. We'll get you inning number 3 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17, inning number 3 of this one between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Bingham Miners. The score is 1-0, so kind of a quiet first 2 innings here for both teams, other than a very loud home run out to center field by Cam Beck in that first inning. Otherwise, it's a kind of a nice, easy game here for both pitchers so far. Will Dart's only allowed 2 hits. On the other side of things, for Ian Stanley, has yet to give up a hit to Spanish Fork, but did walk a guy. It'll be batters 9, 1, and 2 in the lineup for Bingham. Blake Schaefer, Dylan Frank, and Cam Beck.
For the Miners in the top of the 3rd inning, the right fielder number 6, Blake Schaefer.
Again, Beck, the one with the solo home run in that first inning, so that at-bat looms large here, coming up in inning number 3. Schaefer will watch the first pitch go just a tick low for ball 1. Schaefer 0 for 3 so far on the season, as he'll watch that one in for a strike. Excellent location there from Dart. Count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. That one clips the inside part of the plate. Excellent location once again there from Dart for strike 2. That one is in there for strike 3. Excellent job there from Will Dart to get his 4th strikeout on the day. Again, has always been a pretty big
now batting number 2, Dylan
strikeout guy. Kind of started his freshman year as that kind of was the de facto closer, if I remember correctly. Had kind of that role his freshman and sophomore year, and then started mixing in more starts last year. And now, as was mentioned at the top of the broadcast, is kind of being leaned on as the number 2 pitcher in the Spanish Fork staff. So what I've liked seeing so far from him is that it's not just about his fastballs. That one is hit out into right field, and the play is made out there for out number 2. Excellent range there for Cal Marziale. That will get us to 2 outs here now in the top of the 3rd.
Now batting number 3, Cam Beck.
Brings up Cam Beck, the one guy who has produced a run in this game, solo home run in that first inning. He's going to watch a pitch that clips that outside part of the plate for strike one. Not be shocked to see Dart kind of be a little bit careful with him in this at-bat, as he doesn't necessarily need to get crazy with it, as he's mostly kind of looking on that outside part of the plate. He just barely misses with that pitch for now a 1-1 count on the Miners' third baseman. Goes outside yet again, this time gets the call, moving the count to 1-2. 2 outs in the top of the third, still a 1-0 ball game between the Miners and the Dons. The sun's starting to poke out a little bit in the clouds. As the game started, it was basically just straight cloud coverage, so nice to see the sun making an appearance, and also kind of nice to see the wind starting to die down a little bit too. Again, it's a friendly wind for the hitters, as it is essentially just blowing straight out. So any ball that gets hit will get a little bit of extra assistance to it. The 2-2 to Beck. Oh, just barely missing. I feel like that's one that Dart has been getting called, but I guess it just barely misses, maybe a little low on that one. Count moves to full now on Beck. It's a swing and fouls it away. So Beck will stay alive here with that count 3-2. Bingham coming from a pretty tough region. Again, they're 6A Region 2. They've got some real steep competition, as that one is going to go for ball 4 well outside. So second time up and second time on base, as you will, for Cam Beck. So productive day at the plate for him, as he's now over at first base with 2 outs here in the top of the third. Bring up Andrew Dabo, who struck out in his first at-bat in the first inning. So they've got the likes of Mountain Ridge, Corner Canyon, Copper Hills, who's already had 3-1 on the season. Really looking quite impressive so far. Riverton tends to be pretty solid as well, and then Harriman there at 0-4. But yeah, Region 2 of 6A has got some tough contenders, especially if you're looking at the football side of things. This one laced out into right field, and it will be foul. That is a nice thing there for Spanish Fork, because that was a good jump over there at first base. He was basically already at third by the time that ball landed. So he'll make his way back over to first. It'll be just a very loud strike for Dabo. They'll move the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Fouled away once again there by the second baseman. So now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dabo 2 hits so far on the season on 6 at-bats, and has scored twice. Was a decent part of the offense that really surged in that Taylorsville game. Count moves to 2-2 after the ball goes. That pitch goes low. So 2-2 count, 2 outs, top of the third, 1-0 ball game. Opportunity to get out of this one, as that one is going to be tipped and hit the ground. They'll run in and bring in a new ball. Little mound visit here for Nielsen to talk things over with Dart. Again, the count does stay 2-2 here with 2 outs in the top of the third here. 1-0 ball game. Also bring in Nielsen from first base as well, just to, again, talk things over, make sure that Dart's feeling good, and hopefully one more solid pitch here will get him through 3 good innings of work here for Spanish Fork. Dabo digs back in. Count 2-2. The pitch from Dart is sent out into center field. Giving chase is Warren. It will be up and over his head for extra bases. Pretty easily score him from third, and that's going to be a sliding triple. for Andrew Dabo. That's an excellent piece of hitting as he just gets it well up and over Nixon Warren's head. Again, getting a little bit of extra assist from the wind here today, which is basically just blowing straight out into center field. So now a 2-0 ball game after the RBI triple by Andrew Dabo. And it will bring up their cleanup hitter, Abraham Atencio. Atencio went down on strikes in his first at-bat in the first inning. Now a big RBI opportunity here for him, hoping to extend this minor lead. That one will clip the outside part of the plate for strike one. Solo shot by Cam Beck in the first, RBI triple by Andrew Dabo in inning number 3. A 2-0 lead now for Bingham over Spanish Fork. Crack of the bat out into the left center alley. That one's going to be down for extra bases. Will easily score the run from third. And he's going to try to motor into third base. The play easily. Oh, looks like he was able to swim up and over the tag. My goodness, that was an excellent throw in. And I thought that Anderson laid down what looked like was going to be a pretty easy tag over there at third base. Instead, it's going to be back-to-back RBI triples here for the Miners. RBI triple there by Abraham Atencio. Moves the score now to 3-0. And it will bring up Tyson McBride, who's 0 for 1 on the day. He flew out to left in his first at-bat. Dart was pretty close to ending this inning and putting up another 0 on the scoreboard. But yeah, back-to-back RBI triples here for Bingham. Puts them up now 3-0. Pitch will miss there to McBride. So 1-0 count now on the Miners left fielder. Big swing there for strike one. Atencio over at third base after the RBI triple. That one well located by Dart for strike two, so 1-2 count. Still 2 outs here. Atencio over there at third base. That one is sprayed foul, and it'll keep McBride alive here with the count 1-2. Bauer Williams, the catcher, would be due up next here for Bingham. Dart one good pitch away from getting out of this inning. Hopefully keeping things close here for Spanish Fork. He'll take a swing. He'll be tapped, and that will be the end of the top of the third. It'll be the 5th strikeout of the day for Will Dart. He allows back-to-back RBI triples, though, so the Miners extend their lead to 3-0 here in the top of the third. As we move on over to the bottom half of the inning, it gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's MVP Sports, Two Jacks Pizza, Lance Wilson State Farm, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Definitely a rough inning there for Dart, giving up those back-to-back triples by Dabo and by Atencio. Able to punch out McBride, though, and so we do move on over to the bottom half of the inning, seeing Ian Stanley getting warmed up for his 3rd inning of work. He's done a phenomenal job on the mound here for the Miners. He's got 2 strikeouts so far on the day and has only allowed 1 base runner. That base runner a leadoff walk to start off things for Spanish Fork, Nixon Warren. Otherwise, has done a nice job of inducing just kind of ho-hum contact so far. A couple fly balls out to center in the last inning, a couple pop-ups, a ground ball. Just doing a nice job of controlling things so far. It'll be batters 8, 9, and 1 in inning number 3 for Spanish Fork. That's Cal Marziel, Tegan Scott, and Nixon Warren.
Number 3, Cal Marziel.
Marzial out in right field for Spanish Fork today. He will watch one go inside for ball 1. He's going to slap one out towards second base. Pop-up catch will be made for out number 1 by Dabo. Brings up number 9 hitter Tegan Scott.
Now batting the shortstop, number 22, Tegan Scott.
Scott over at short today for Spanish Fork with Dart on the mound. It's the first pitch misses for ball 1. Scott on the season, just 1 hit so far. That one is going to be hit over towards third, and the play's going to be made. That's an excellent throw over there at third. Great play from Cam Beck, and that's going to be 2 quick outs here in the third.
Now batting number 37, Nixon Warren.
Top of the order once again for Spanish Fork. Nixon Warren now up. The lone Don that has reached base so far today took a walk in his first plate appearance. Gonna swing at one and foul it away for strike 1. Ian Stanley doing a great job here on the mound for Bingham through 2 2/3. Warren gets a piece of that one. Another play here for Beck, showing off that strong arm over there at the hot corner. He guns down Nixon Warren. That will be out number 3. 1-2-3 inning again for Ian Stanley. 2 runs across in the top of the third. The score now 3-0. We'll get you inning number 4 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. Inning number 4 of this one between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Bingham Miners. 2 RBI triples in the third inning extends this lead for the Miners after getting that solo shot from Cam Beck in the first. They bring the bats out once again in that third inning, back-to-back triples for Andrew Dabo and for Abraham Atencio. Will Dart will get himself warmed up here for a 4th inning of work. Again, Spanish Fork still very much in this ball game. Again, the score is 3-0, so it's not exactly a chasm that Spanish Fork can't get themselves out of. 3 runs is just a decently productive inning, and so if they can get the bats rolling here later on in the game, and Dart can still provide some good innings here in hopefully the next couple of innings, Spanish Fork definitely in a decent place here to
leading off for the Miners,
keep things rolling.
The 4th inning, number 5, Bauer Williams.
Up now for the Miners is Bauer Williams, their catcher. It'll be his second at-bat of the day. Hit a single in his first at-bat, and he'll watch the first pitch in there for a strike. Bauer Williams, Talon Van Sickle, and Cooper Schott are the ones due up here in inning number 3 for Bingham. He'll take a big swing at that one, and he will miss for strike 2. Dart hoping to reestablish things here in inning number 4 after giving up the 2 runs in the third, doing a nice job of just attacking the strike zone here early on Williams. Gets Williams to hit one out into left. Line drive out there that will be snagged by Lamson for out number 1.
Now batting, number 10, Talon Van Sickle.
Talon Van Sickle now up for the Miners after Bauer Williams lines out there to left field. Van Sickle 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out in his first at bat. He'll watch a pitch bounce into the dirt for ball 1. And Van Sickle rocking that beautiful pencil bat. That one just a tick low from Dart. We'll move the count now to 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0 is actually going to end up hitting Van Sickle, and that's the first minor to get hit by a pitch, first batter of the game to get hit by a pitch. So he'll make his way on over to
now batting
first base.
Cooper Shaw.
Designated hitter Cooper Shaw now up for the minors. Shaw is also 0 for 1 on the day. He hit a little dribbler to Dart in his first at bat. Now up with a runner on and only 1 out here in the top of the 4th. The sun now very much out in full force. Love to see it. That one is popped up out into foul territory. Nielsen gets underneath it and will make the play for out number 2. That is going to bring up Blake Schaefer.
Now batting number 6, Blake Schaefer.
Schaefer struck out looking in his first at-bat in inning number 3. Dart would love to see similar results here in at-bat number 2. Now with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Runner is going. Nielsen throws a strike. Easily picked off over there at second base. Excellent pop-up and throw by Cal Nielsen to get Van Sickle caught stealing second. And that is going to end the top half of the 4th inning. So the score will stay 3-0. Nice inning there for Will Dart. As we move on over to the bottom half of the 4th inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's MVP Sports, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and 2 Jack's Pizza. And now that the sun's starting to pop out, starting to feel a little bit more baseball-y. As I was walking into the field, it was kind of gloomy looking. The wind was absolutely blustering. I was like, oh, we're going to play baseball in this? I mean, of course we are, but it's nice to see the sun. It's nice to be out here and just having baseball once again on Spanish Fork 17. It just feels right, doesn't it, folks? It feels right to have spring and be out at the ballpark or watching the game wherever you're at. It's just great to have baseball back and ripping and roaring once again, as we get to see Ian Stanley warming up for inning number 4. A very good game here so far for Ian Stanley. And the 2 strikeouts, just the 1 walk allowed so far, just 1 on base runner up to this point. He will be dealing with some of the more dangerous bats in the lineup here in inning number 4. Jackie Sorensen, Will Dart, and Cal Nielsen are the ones due up here in inning number 4.
Leading off for the Dons in the bottom.
Lineup 2, 3, and
12,
guys 2, 3, and 4 in the order. Sorensen 0 for 1 on the day. He grounded out to second base in his first at bat. He'll watch pitch low and outside for ball 1. Checks his swing, but it does catch the outside part of the plate, so count now moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. Sorensen, coming into this game, was batting .429, so had 3 hits in his 7 at-bats up to this point, so has been productive when he has been in the Spanish Fork lineup. He'll be looking at a 1-2 count after that foul ball. That one definitely in the dirt. It'll even up the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Will Dart on deck here for Spanish Fork. This feels like a really big inning for them with some of the big bats in the lineup coming up. If they're going to spark their offense, this feels like a pretty good moment for it here in inning number 4. The 2-2 is swung on and missed. That's a great pitch there from Stanley. His third strikeout of the day. And it will now bring up Will Dart.
Now batting number 6, Will Dart.
And Dart coming into this ball game was batting .500, so really has done a nice job here at the start of the season. Has been a big anchor in this Dons lineup, as that was a huge gust of wind that just came into the ballpark. Count moves to 1 ball and no strikes after that pitch misses from Stanley. Dart, a strikeout victim in his first at bat, was caught looking on just an excellent curveball in the inside part of the plate. That one will miss a little bit low and inside to move the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Senior pitcher digs back in with the count 2-0. He'll watch that one a little bit high and moves the hands away, so maybe even a little bit inside as well. Does a nice job of watching the first 3 pitches. Nothing doing so far. 3-0 count. Taking all the way on that one, and he will make his way on over to first base. The second base runner of the day here for Spanish Fork. Second walk issued by Ian Stanley, and it brings up cleanup hitter Cal Nielsen now for Spanish Fork.
Now batting number 11, Cal Nielsen.
Nielsen, another strikeout victim in his first at bat, was caught looking on a very similar pitch to the one that Dart struck out on in the first inning. With an opportunity here with just 1 out in the bottom of the 4th, and Dart over there at first base. Nielsen will watch the first pitch go high for ball 1. Nielsen, a guy with some pop, had 2 home runs last season. Really has developed into a pretty solid hitter here for the Dons. Quick pickoff move over there to first base. Dart, a guy definitely that's got some speed, so they want to try to keep him close. The 1-0 catches the outside part of the plate there for strike 1. It's a great pitch there from Stanley. He's done a nice job of working both sides of the plate. Again, has rung up a couple guys on some beautiful ones right in on their hands, but then has done a nice job as well to get over to the other side of things and establish that outside portion of the plate on these righties, as that one will go low and outside and move the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Good lead over there at first base for Dart. Nielsen's going to rip one just beyond the glove of a diving. That's a diving Abraham Atencio. And Dart will make his way to second base. It'll be a 1-out single for Cal Nielsen. That's the first hit of the day for Spanish Fork, and just the third base runner on the day here for them too. So big opportunity here in inning number 4 with 2 runners on.
Number 2, Nate Peterson.
They do bring in Peterson to run for Nielsen, again catching today, so wanting to preserve his legs. It'll be Riley Lamson that's going to be coming up here for Spanish Fork. He's getting himself all adjusted and ready to go. Big situation here for the Spanish Fork left fielder. Watch the first pitch in there for a strike. Peterson on first, Dart at second. Good opportunity here for Lamson. 0-1 count in the bottom of the Fourth inning, 3-0 ball game. Spanish Fork really looking to get on the board here and cut into this minor lead. That one well outside. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike. And Lamson rips one out into shallow right field. That's going to be a base hit. They do hold up Dart over there at third. Excellent throw in from right field by Schaefer to keep the runners from advancing further. So it's going to be a bases loaded situation here after back-to-back singles for Spanish Fork. Peterson now over at second base and Lamson now at first. And big RBI opportunity for Britt Nielsen.
Britt Nielsen.
Nielsen flew out to center in his first at-bat in the second inning. 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. The Dons threatening here with the bases loaded. First baseman a little bit in on the grass. The rest of the infield playing a little bit deeper in case there's a double play opportunity. The ball squirts away, and that's going to be the first run of the day for Spanish Fork. Will Dart makes his way on home after the pitch just gets a little bit away there from Bauer Williams, but well enough to be able to advance Dart, advance Wilson over to advance Peterson over to third, and advance Lamson over to second base. So still runners on second and third, so 2 guys in scoring position here for Spanish Fork. With the 1 run now coming across here in this fourth inning, still huge RBI opportunity for Nielsen. The count 1-0. On the Dons' first baseman. He's going to lay down a bunt, and it's a beauty as it's going to score the run over at third, and the throw is going to get over the head of the first baseman. It's going to end up scoring 2 runs. What a break here for Spanish Fork as the well-executed bunt by Britt Nielsen will lead to 2 runs. And this ball game is now all tied up 3-3. Yeah, just a well-placed one right kind of in no man's land as the pitcher Stanley had to go get that one and kind of had to awkwardly throw it from where he was at and airmails it over there to his first baseman, as this was the first real danger of the game for Ian Stanley. And the Dons able to capitalize in a big way here after again a couple of timely singles there by Cal Nielsen and Riley Lamson after Dart takes the walk, and all of them able to score so far in this inning. So it is going to be Nielsen over at first base. This will go down as I believe that one will be scored as an infield single, bunt single for Nielsen, and then the throwing error advancing the runner home. So an RBI squeeze single there for Nielsen, and then Lamson scoring on the error.
Now batting number 18, Brecken Anderson.
So Brecken Anderson now up for Spanish Fork. Don's third baseman is 0 for 1 on the day. He's going to watch one go well outside and low there for ball 1. It's going to be a fly out in foul territory, and fumbling and stumbling out there over in foul territory was Talon Van Sickle, trying to get underneath that one, but got just enough on it to keep things alive here for Anderson. 1 ball and 1 strike. Spanish Fork tying this thing up here in inning number 4, and that one's going to get underneath the glove of the second baseman, so another base hit here for Spanish Fork. And Nielsen does a nice job of capitalizing and makes his way over to third. So it's going to be runners on the corners after a nice single there from Brecken Anderson to just kind of keep the beat rolling here in inning number 4.
Batting number 3, Cal Marzial.
It's still only one out here in the bottom of the 4th. Runners on the corners. Cal Marzial now up for Spanish Fork. Popped up to second in at-bat number 1. Could give the Dons a lead here with a base hit or a sacrifice fly, as they're going to throw it on over to first. Nothing doing, just kind of keeping Anderson close to the bag. Nielsen at third, Anderson at first. RBI time here for Marzial. He shows bunt, pulls back, and it will be a ball as Nielsen got a nice lead over there and was basically halfway to the plate by the time that that ball eventually got there. Love seeing that. Good aggressive base running for the Dons first baseman. 1-0 count now on the Dons right fielder Marzial. Shows bunt again. This one clips the outside part of the plate. So now 1 ball and 1 strike. Three ball game here in the bottom of the 4th, time called. And Marzial, again, all 3 runs coming across here for Spanish Fork in this inning. Nielsen over there at third base. Brecken Anderson at first. And a big opportunity here for Marzial to get in another run. He's going to hit it up and over the shortstop's glove out into shallow center field. And the Dons are going to take the lead here in inning number 4 as Nielsen will score on the RBI single by Cal Marzial. Now a 4-3 ball game in favor of the Dons.
Now batting number 22, Tegan Scott.
It'll now be Tegan Scott here for the Dons as they've now taken the lead in inning number 4. Scott 0 for 1 on the day. Also looking at an RBI situation with runners on first and second, Anderson and Marzial on. Still just 1 out here in the 4th as well, as the first pitch is going to just miss for ball 1. Big inning here for Spanish Fork. Big confidence builder here, I think, for the Dons, too. Again, the offense really struggled in the tournament down there in St. George. And so nice to be able to come back up here to Spanish Fork and to see the bats coming alive a little bit more here in this game against the Miners. That one will miss inside. Count now moves to 2 balls and no strikes on the Dons shortstop. And really had been a really solid game up to this point for Ian Stanley, but has really struggled here in inning number 4 as all 4 runs have come across here in the bottom half of the frame here. The 2-0 to Scott, swings at one up at his eyeballs for strike 1. RBI single for Cal Marzial, an RBI bunt by Britt Nielsen that turned into 2 due to a throwing error. Nice RBI single for, well, not RBI single, but then a passed ball is what scored Will Dart from third base. His count now moves to 2-2 on Scott after a nice pitch there by Stanley. Number 9 hitter in this Dons lineup. It will be the top of the order. Up after this, Nixon Warren. The 2-2 is knocked over towards short. He gloves it and will not be in time. Oh my goodness. Did they? Okay, they did not. No, they did call him out over there at second. That is crazy. I don't know what he was seeing, but I saw a very, very safe runner by a good solid second or so. So that's a bit of a shocker there, as Scott will ground into a fielder's choice for out number 2. So he'll be over there at first. Marziel thrown out at second. And Anderson now over at third. Nixon Warren up is able to check his swing. They do appeal over just to be safe. He says no, so it does in fact stay a called ball. So 1-0 on the Dons center fielder, who is 0 for 1 on the day. He got stranded at third after he walked in the first and then grounded out to third in his last at bat. Down and safe over there at first base. So a good productive inning here for Spanish Fork. 4 runs coming across. And this ball is going to get past Williams. That's going to be an easy run over to home for Anderson. And a big 5-run inning here in the 4th inning for Spanish Fork. And still an opportunity to score some more with Scott now in scoring position at second base. And a 2-0 count on Warren. Sorensen, the designated hitter, due up next for Spanish Fork. This one is sent out into left field, and that will be the end of the inning. Huge inning here for Spanish Fork. 5 runs across in inning number 4. 5-3 ball game now. We'll get you inning number 5 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. We are in inning number 5 of this one between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Bingham Miners. Again, non-region game here. 6A versus 5A. Miners versus Dons. And it's been a fun ball game here. Kind of a slow trickle of runs for the Miners. A solo home run in the first inning by Cam Beck. Then a couple RBI triples in inning number 3 by Andrew Dabo and Abraham Atencio. But then a huge inning for Spanish Fork in inning number 4. 5 runs coming across, able to capitalize on a little bit of sloppy play from the Miners, but also capitalizing on 5 hits as well. A bunch of singles there for Spanish Fork in inning number 4 as Dart will get warmed up here for a 5th inning of work. Was able to calm things down in inning number 4, put up a 0 on the scoreboard. So hoping to maintain this 2-run lead for Spanish Fork. He will be dealing with Blake Schaefer to start things off, then Dylan Frank and Cam Beck. Schaefer struck out looking in his first at bat, that one coming in the 3rd inning, and he's going to watch a first pitch strike from Dart. This one fouled away, so 2 quick strikes on the number 9 hitter in this lineup for the Miners. Nielsen with a very timely throw in that 4th inning, as this one's going to be tapped over to Scott. The play will be made, and that will be out number 1 in inning number 5. Again, was touting Nielsen's ability there behind the plate, and that was on full display in the last inning.
Number 2, Dylan Frank.
He's able to gun down Van Sickle over there at second, trying to steal. Beautiful throw, beautiful pop-up. Love seeing that from Nielsen. And definitely, I think, gave the defense a little bit of juice, which was needed after a rough third inning with those two triples. First pitch will miss to Dylan Frank, his third at bat of the day. Again, top of the order due up here now again for the Miners. And that one will miss just a little bit low for ball 2. 0 for 2 day for the leadoff man in the Miner lineup. A ground out and a fly out so far on the day. He'll watch pitch in there for a strike, so 2 balls and 1 strike. The very dangerous Cam Beck due up next here for Bingham. A solo home run already in this game. Hoping to do more damage here in inning number 5 and get the Miners the lead back. Nice job to catch the outside part of the plate. It's kind of been where Dart's been living for most of this game. Now a 2-2 count on Frank. Tries to spin in a curveball, and leaping for that was the second baseman. It's Garrett Field out there. Not quite enough hops to get up to that one, so it'll be a little dribbler of a single for Dylan Frank. So 1.
Now batting number 3, Cam Beck.
Runner on here in the 5th with 1 out. And again, Beck now digging in. Very productive day at the plate. 1 for 1, solo home run and a walk so far. He'll watch a first pitch strike. That one going to just miss a little bit low for ball 1. So 1-1 count on Cam Beck. 5-3 ball game. A 2-run lead for the Dons over the Miners here on Spanish Fork 17. Little tapper that will be foul. For Beck, it'll move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dart allowing 1 run in the first, 2 runs in the third. Would like to break the pattern here of allowing runs in odd innings. That is a little throw over to first base. Nothing doing though, as Frank will slide back in, and we'll reset things here with the count 1 and 2 on Beck. In the dirt, Frank will go. A throw by Nielsen just a bit behind. A lot of frustration from the Dons infield who thought that they had him gunned. Scott laid down a pretty nice tag given the timing of things, and honestly was pretty well placed ball there too by Nielsen. But I guess just a tick behind, and so it'll be a stolen base there for Frank. And count 2 and 2 on Cam Beck now with the runner in scoring position. Makes some contact there, fouls it away though. It'll stay at 2 and 2. The 2-2 swung on and missed. That's a big one there for Will Dart, able to get a very dangerous hitter, Cam, back down on strikes. 2 outs now in the top of the 5th inning.
Now batting number 16, Andrew Dabo.
Brings up Andrew Dabo, who was one of the guys with RBI triples in that 3rd inning. 1 for 2 on the day. He did strike out in his first at-bat. Watch a pitch that will just miss. Tick low there from Dart for ball 1. Runner at second in scoring position here for the Miners with 2 outs in the top half of the inning. Pitch that will go high and move the count now to 2 and 0. A pretty good start to the season for a lot of teams in Region 7. Just kind of looking at the standings right now. Timpview 5-1, Maple Mountain 3-2. A couple teams sitting there at 500. Cedar Valley 1-1, Salem Hills 2-2, Springville 2-2. Wasatch, according to Max Preps, hasn't played yet. That's kind of fun for them. And then 0-1 so far for Orem. But as always, Region 7 is always a pretty competitive and difficult region in baseball. So the Dons have their work cut out for them this year, as that one is in there for a strike to Dabo. Now the count being 3-1. Again, runner in scoring position with 2 outs. The Dons able to take the lead here in this game in the 4th. The Miners would love to take it back. That one is going to clip Dabo. He will make his way on over to first base. So now 2 runners on here with 2 outs in the 5th. So still a dangerous situation here for the Dons with a guy that's hit an RBI triple already in this game, Atencio. Is 1 for 2 on the day, his lone hit being that RBI triple. Like Dabo, he also struck out in the 1st inning. So 6 total strikeouts on the day here for Dart. And just about through 5 innings here, super close at this point. It's going to get Atencio to foul that one away for strike 1. Five hits so far through 4 2/3. Has hit 2 batters. So a fair amount of base runners, but has done a pretty good job in most of the innings to be able to limit the damage. The 1-1 here to Atencio. It's going to be gobbled up. And the throw across the diamond will be a tough one. Nielsen tries to dig that one out. It will get past him, and that is going to score the run from 3rd, and they're going to gun him down at home. Nice way to get out of that one. One of them does come across, as that will be Frank that scores on the play, but Dabo thrown out, trying to advance at home and trying to tie this ball game up. So nice job there by Spanish Fork to close the door on things here in the top half of the 5th inning. 5-4, they'll maintain their lead. As we move on over to the bottom half of the 5th inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That is Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Lance Wilson State Farm, 2 Jacks Pizza, and MVP Sports. Thank you everyone for tuning in today, whether on the channel or on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. Be sure to click that subscribe button and join the Spanish Fork 17 family. We've got all sorts of great content there on our YouTube page, which includes a lot of great high school sports. Again, we do cover the Golden Eagles as well as the Dons. And so if you are a big fan of Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain sports, be sure to click that subscribe button and watch all the great stuff that we have on there. youtube.com/SpanishFork17. And we do have a new pitcher on the mound here for the Miners. Looks like that is number 16.
Now pitching for the Miners, number 15, Boston Snyder.
So it is a rough day on the what was good, really was trending to be a pretty solid day on the mound for Ian Stanley. Really just went completely awry there in inning number 4. Ends up giving up 5 runs. A couple of them not being earned, as a few of them were via an error. But again, he really through those first 3 innings was looking pretty solid. But he gets yanked here from the game, and be a new pitcher on the mound here for the minors, and he will have to deal with some of the big bats in the order 2, 3, and 4. Sorensen, Dart, and Nielsen due up here in inning number 5 for Spanish Fork. So it's number 15, Boston Snyder, on the mound for the minors.
Leading off for the Dons in the bottom of the 5th inning, number 12, Jackie Sorensen.
So Sorensen up now for Spanish Fork. He'll watch the first pitch be just a bit off for ball 1. Sorensen 0 for 2 on the day. He'll watch a pitch that'll be a little bit upstairs for ball 2. Snyder has seen an inning of work so far this season. That one will also miss, just a tick inside for ball 3. Was pretty solid in that inning. Did strike out 2 batters, did walk 2, so maybe a little bit wild, which is kind of what we're seeing so far. He does find his way into the strike zone for that particular pitch, so the count will move to 3 balls and 1 strike. So second appearance here of the season for Snyder. Lamson gets a piece of that one, but fouls it away. My apologies, Sorensen, not Lamson. So the count is now 3-2. Going to put a charge into this one, out into center field. Fumbling and stumbling out there and down on the ground, but not with the ball, as that's going to be an easy stand-up triple here. Triple T, heating, cooling, and plumbing triple here for Jackie Sorensen. Belts one out into center field, and, you know, honestly, it was a fairly decent read out there by Dylan Frank, but just it kind of felt like I don't know if he lost some footing or just kind of ran out of real estate in the sense of it just didn't quite get a great read on it being like on the trajectory of it. But again, had a good beat on it, but that one gets up and over him, rolls to the wall, and a really nice leadoff triple here to start things off in inning number 5 for Spanish Fork. Off the bat of Jackie Sorensen. And tight ball game here on Spanish Fork, 17, 5-4. First pitch strike into Will Dart. Dart 0 for 1 on the day, a strikeout in the first inning, and then took a walk in the 4th inning. Was the first Don to score in this game, scored on a passed ball. Oh, that's going to hit him in the helmet. That did not sound awesome. As it looks like he is okay, though. Flips the bats and will make his way over to first base. Gives the thumbs up over to coach, saying, "All right, I'm good to go." Yeah, that's it's scary when you get one that's kind of up near the face. And thankfully for Dart, he does have kind of a little bit of extra protection there. That kind of helps safeguard him, which is nice. They're gonna check him out just to be safe. They have him take the helmet off too to kind of walk things off a bit. Does look like he'll be all right. We like seeing that. So it's going to be runners on the corners here with no outs in this 5th inning, as it'll be Sorensen at third and Dart now over at first, and the cleanup hitter Cal Nielsen will now be up for Spanish Fork. So that's a rough sequence there to start things off in this inning for Snyder. Gives up a triple and then hits a batter.
Now batting number
Nielsen, a productive day so far, 1 for 2 at the plate. He struck out in his first at bat, but then hit a single in the 4th as part of that big 5-run 4th inning. And Dart will very easily make his way on over to second base. A no contest over there. Catcher showed a little bit of effort there, but didn't actually throw it on over to second. So 2 runners in scoring position with no outs already here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Nielsen will watch a pitch come in high and tight for ball 2. Riley Lamson due up next here for Spanish Fork, kind of setting up already pretty nicely here for potentially another big inning here after 5 runs coming across in the last one. Good curveball there from Snyder for strike 1. The wind still blowing pretty good out there. This one hit right up the middle by Nielsen. That's going to, looks like he's going to end up scoring 2 runs here as Dart rumbles his way from second base. They're going to throw it over to second, and Nielsen is going to be out over at second base. He will still be credited with the 2 RBI single, but then will be thrown out over there at second base. So still a very productive hit there for Nielsen. It will extend the Spanish Fork lead now to 7-4. So now a 3-run lead for the Dons over the Miners. And it will bring up Lamson now for Spanish Fork. Lamson will watch the first pitch in there for a strike. Lamson 1 for 2 on the day, a pop-up, and then another one of those guys that hit singles in the 4th inning. He's going to watch another one in there for strike 2. That's an excellent spot there by Snyder. Lamson will slap that one down the third base line, but foul, so stays alive with the count 0-2. 2 runs across here so far in the bottom half of the 5th inning for Spanish Fork. 2 RBI single by Cal Nielsen. 7-4 ball game. Lamson able to foul that one away as well. He'll stay hacking at 0-2. Watches that one go into the dirt. So that's definitely a pitch trying to get Lamson to chase after a couple of pitches on the inside part of the plate. A couple of them a little bit high, trying to get him nipping at something low and outside. The count now 2-2. It's yet another little piece. Nice battle here between Lamson and Snyder. 2-2 count still. Britt Nielsen due up next for Spanish Fork. Laid down a nice bunt in inning number 4 that resulted in 2 runs. Lamson gets a nice piece of that one, sends it deep out into left field. The play will be made, though, for out number 2. So Britt Nielsen 1 for 2 on the day, digging in. Again, an RBI bunt single that then produced a throwing error that gave Spanish Fork another run. So 1 for 2 day for him. He also flew out to center in his first at bat. He'll take a very healthy cut at that first pitch strike. Again, when the wind is blowing right, you're getting a nice assist out there. So I'm not shocked when people are swinging for the fences here in a game like this one, as that one gets fouled away. So now an 0-2 hole for the Dons first baseman. It's always just so tempting when you're like, but Mother Nature's just basically asking for it when the wind is blowing that strong out to center field. As a half-hearted swing at that one will be the 3rd out of the inning. First strikeout for Snyder. Snyder gives up 2 runs in relief of Stanley. The score now 7-4, 3-run lead for Spanish Fork. Will get you inning number 6 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport: paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It's inning number 6 of this one between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Bingham Miners. 5A versus 6A in this one. Region 2 versus Region 7. All the different numbers that you could throw out there, but the important number here for Spanish Fork is 7, because that's how many runs they've scored in this one, and they've got a 3-run lead on the Miners. The score 7-4 here in the 6th. It's been a busy day for Will Dart, who's getting warmed up here for a 6th inning of work. Really, other than a rough 3rd inning where he gave up a pair of RBI triples, it's been pretty solid here today for Dart. Did allow a solo home run in the first inning to Cam Beck, as we do get a nice view here of the crowd here today. Again, a couple of them all bundled up in blankets with the wind being kind of wicked here today. Not as crazy it was down in St. George, but still nippy enough that a blanket is certainly handy. But again, we always love seeing the support that the Dons get, especially early here in the season. We know that it's a little bit chillier, not the most ideal of baseball weather conditions. So we appreciate everyone that comes out to the ballpark and supports the Dons. So Dart back out for inning number 6. The first pitch here swung on and missed by Tyson McBride. It'll be McBride, Williams, and Van Sickle due up here in inning number 6 for the Bingham Miners. Contact made, but fouled away. Count now 0-2. So a good trend here for Dart has been that he's done a nice job of establishing the strike zone as he now gets yet another strikeout. It's going to be strikeout number 7 on the day for the starting shortstop for the Dons usually, but again on the mound here today, and again putting in a good day's work here, 5 1/3 at this point. That one a rare ball on a first pitch to Bauer Williams, the catcher for the Miners. 1 for 2 on the day. A single in the second and a line out in the 4th. That one clips the strike zone for strike 1. Dart's also had a nice day at the plate. It's been pretty patient up there as that one is fouled away. And we'll move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dart has scored 2 of the 7 Spanish Fork runs as well. So a good solid day of work, not only on the mound, but also at the plate. He gets himself yet another strikeout, gets Williams looking at one that perfectly paints the outside portion of the strike zone. So out number 2 here in the top of the 6th, and strikeout number 8 on the day.
Number 11, Sawyer Clausen.
It brings up, they've brought in a pinch hitter here for Van Sickle. It's number 11, Sawyer Clausen. Clausen 0 for 3 so far on the season, and he'll watch the first pitch go for a ball. So still a fairly tight ball game here on Spanish Fork 17 as the next pitch able to get the black of the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Score is 7-4. Fouled away, hits the backstop. It moves the count now to 1-2. Cooper Schott, the designated hitter, would be due up next here for the Miners. Excellent pitch from Will Dart. He strikes out the side here in the 6th inning. That's what you love to see from your starter, still pitching strong through that 6th inning. Score stays 7-4 after a 1-2-3 inning dominant inning from Will Dart to keep things rolling here for Spanish Fork. As we move on over to the bottom half of the 6th inning, it gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That is Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and 2 Jack's Pizza. Again, MVP Sports rocking the new logo here. Love to see that. They also are rocking a new location over at 82 East 900 North in Spanish Fork, so be sure to go check out all their great stuff and check out their new location over there. We love our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. They make these possible, and we just enjoy them. I mean, I love enjoying a good 2 Jack's Pizza. I love that Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. They're always available to help you out when you got heating and cooling needs and all that. And Lance Wilson's such a great guy. He does so much for the community. So we love our sponsors. We appreciate them, and we hope that you appreciate them as well. Again, thank you so much for tuning in here on Spanish Fork 17 as we're getting ready here for the bottom of the 6th inning. We see Boston Snyder getting ready for a 2nd inning of work again. He came in relief of Ian Stanley in the last inning. Got a little roughed up as the Dons were able to put up a couple runs on him in inning number 5. And it's going to be Brecken Anderson to start things off for Spanish Fork here in the 6th. Bottom of the order, 7, 8, and 9 for the Dons. Anderson, Marziel, and Scott. That one excellently painted for strike 1. That one will miss inside. Count now 2-1. Having watched Snyder here for a full inning plus, he's got some good stuff, got some decent pop here on his fastball, and has a really nice breaking pitch here that he just showed you right there. It will miss just barely. His count moves to 3-1, but it's got some good movement to it, and I like the makings of this pitcher. We'll see if he's able to harness some of these things over the course of the years. That's going to get right in between the shortstop and third baseman for a leadoff single to start things off in this 6th inning for Brecken Anderson, his 2nd hit of the ball game, as he was able to get a hit in the 4th inning as well. So now 2 for 3 day for the Dons' third baseman, and it is going to bring up Cal Marziel.
Cal Marziel.
Marziel also 1 for 2 coming into this at bat. He also had a single in the 4th. Hit a pop-up in the 3rd. This one's going to be sent up to short. Play over at 2nd, play over at 1st. Nice little double play there for the Miners. That's going to be 2 outs. And that's going to be a solid way to kind of calm things down here as they are trying to hang on here and keep this game close. It's going to bring up number 9 hitter Tegan
now
Scott.
Batting number 22, Tegan Scott.
Scott is 0 for 2 on the day. A couple of grounders, one being a fielder's choice. This one going to be a line shot over to the third baseman. That will be caught, and that is going to end the 6th inning. The score will stay 7-4. After 6, we will get you inning number 7 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It's inning number 7 of this one between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Bingham Miners. It's been a fun ball game here at Nelson Field. A 3-run lead for the Dons, 7-4. A big 4th inning where they were able to score 4 runs, then another 2 coming across in the 5th. So a nice job here late in the ball game to really get things juicing up here for the Dons. 1-4 on the season, looking to move that now to 2-4 with a win here against the Miners. They just need 3 more outs here, and they'll secure their 2nd victory on this young season. And Dart is back out there for a 7th inning of work. Makes sense after he absolutely dominated them in the 6th inning, struck out the side, and so still feeling great. So might as well throw him back out there. And he's going to be dealing with Cooper Schott to start things off here for the Miners. It will be Schott, Schaefer, and Frank due up in inning number 7 for Bingham. A ball that will be low and inside. So 1-0 count on the DH. Cooper Schott 0 for 2 on the day. He grounded out and popped out. He barely even moved on that particular pitch, as the count will now be 1 ball and 1 strike. I feel like after you've watched Dart for several innings, I don't know if I would be taking a pitch on a 1-0 count, but you know, you do you, Cooper Schott. I understand. Dart has been in the strike zone all game long. That one is going to bounce in the dirt. Count will move to 2 balls and 1 strike. Dart hoping to ride through the complete game here and get 3 outs, and again hoping to get Spanish Fork back in the win column. That one is in fact grooved in there for strike 2, so now 2 balls and 2 strikes on Schott. What's also nice about this is it's again, obviously the Dons are not going to be playing again for another couple days, but nice to be able to preserve the bullpen arms too. A little slow dribbler over to field that he will make for out number 1. And it's also just rare. You don't see a lot of starting pitchers going super deep in games anymore. That's very apparent on the major league level. You're even seeing games where you've got relief pitchers that will pitch a couple innings to start a game, openers or what they're called. And so the art of the starting pitcher, the art of the guy that throws, 6-7 plus innings every game is just not seen. So it's pleasant to see Will Dart going so deep into this ball game, as he's now through 6 1/3, and that was a first pitch strike to Schaefer. Make it strike 2 now, making quick work of the number 9 hitter in the Miners lineup. 0 for 2 on the day, struck out in the 3rd and grounded out in the 5th. The 0-2 from Dart swung on. It will be right in the gap there on the left side of the infield and out into the outfield for a base hit. Nice placement there by Schaefer to get a 1-out hit here in the 7th inning. Top of the order now up again for the Miners. 4th at-bat of the day for Dylan Frank. 1 for 3 so far. A ground out, a fly out, and a single in the 5th. Was able to score in that 5th inning. A pitch that will be well outside for ball 1. So Schaefer at first after the 1-out single. Now that's a pitch that did not miss by much, as the count will move to 2 balls and no strikes. Cam Beck due up next for the Miners, a solo shot in the 1st inning. So not someone that Dart would like to have up with 2 runners on. So like to see him find a way to prevent Frank from getting on, at least, as the count now moves to 2-1. An excellent pitch there from Dart. Solid contact right in that same spot. It will be collected by Lamson and thrown in. Eventually knocked down there by Field. That's going to be back-to-back singles here in this 7th inning for the Miners. So runners on first and second base, and it is going to bring up Cam Beck, and there is a likelihood here that this may be the end of the ball game here for Will Dart, but we will see. As this is a very needed mound visit here with one out in the 6th. I want to talk things over with the infield as they, again, runners on first and second, talk strategy through here. They do opt to keep Dart in the game. I do love that. Again, he was so dominant in the last inning, and certainly still has an opportunity here to get these last 2 outs and get through a complete game here for Spanish Fork. But he will be dealing with a guy in Cam Beck that did take him yard in that first inning.
Now batting number 3, Cam Beck.
Beck is 1 for 2 on the day, so that solo home run, walked in his second plate appearance, and then he did strike out in his last at bat in the 5th. His Dart will get it in there for strike 1. That's what you like to see from your pitcher after a mound visit, is to just pound that strike zone. And looks like actually may have affected Nielsen's glove a little bit as time was taken there, and Nielsen's still kind of adjusting things there with his mitt. Looks like he's good to go. The 0-1 to Beck is a beautiful curveball. I honestly thought it was going to hit Beck, and somehow it finds its way into the strike zone for strike 2. That's a phenomenal pitch from Will Dart. So runners on first and second, 7-4 ball game. The 0-2 slapped by Beck and foul. So he'll stay alive with the count 0-2. Schaefer at second base, Frank at first base. Tying run at the plate in Cam Beck. Low and outside for ball 1. A couple guys with big base hits in this game due up next as well in Dabo and Atencio. Both of them with RBI triples. The 1-2 from Dart is sent out into center field. It will be down for a base hit. Nice job to get that in quick, and so it'll be a 1-out single for Cam Beck, and it's going to load the bases up. This is a precarious situation here for the Dons as they've got a 3-run lead here in this 7th inning, and that's a frustrated Will Dart who was hoping to get through this ball game. Instead, he will leave 3 runners on, and the relief pitcher will be inheriting quite the situation here, and the Dons will be hoping that he can come in and get the save here for Spanish Fork and give them their second win of the season. And it appears that it is going to be Britt Nielsen coming in to hopefully get these last 2 outs in this game. Britt coming over from first base for Spanish Fork. Now getting warmed up here for these last 2 outs of this 7th inning. Seven-4 ball game here on Spanish Fork 17 as we're seeing Britt Nielsen getting his warm-up pitches in the 7th inning, coming in relief of Will Dart, who he will be inheriting a bases loaded situation here, which is never a fun thing for a reliever, but he will be tasked to do what he can to hold things in check and keep this at a place where Spanish Fork can come away with the win here today. Nielsen did pitch 2 innings of work as part of the Kona Ice Classic down in St. George. In those 2 innings, he did allow 2 runs. 2 hits, walked a guy and struck out a guy. So pretty standard line there for Nielsen, the senior. Again, they are hoping that he can come in and do what he can to give the Dons the win here, and hopefully not have to extend this game out into extra innings, as the last 2 games that the Dons have been in have gone to extras. And so anything they could do to avoid a 3rd straight one, I think, would be a pleasant thing for the team. But he will be dealing with some very dangerous bats here for
the Dons, number 5,
the
Nielsen.
Miners. Dabo and Atencio, again, both guys that have
now batting number 16.
hit RBI triples in this game. So big bases loaded situation here for the Miners with 1 out in the top of the 7th. The first pitch from Nielsen will be just a bit outside. Dabo 1 for 2 on the day. Nice job there by Nielsen to make sure that one doesn't get away. That would definitely have scored a run. 2-0 count now on Dabo. Again, 1 for 2. That RBI triple did strike out in the 1st inning and got hit by a pitch in the 5th. Got thrown out at home trying to advance on a hit. It was an excellent throw. An excellent play there for Spanish Fork. That would have tied the ball game up at that point. And that is going to be 4 straight balls from Nielsen. That's going to bring in the first run here in the 7th inning. And it's going to keep the bases loaded, as well as everyone is just going to move over a base. And the score will now be 7-5 after the RBI walk for Andrew Dabo. And it'll bring up their cleanup hitter, Abraham Atencio. Again, already with a big hit in this one.
Abraham Atencio.
Mostly quiet day otherwise at the plate for Atencio. 1 for 3. And that is going to be the 5th straight ball thrown by Nielsen. 1-0 count on Atencio. Big situation here for their cleanup hitter. An extra base hit would tie this ball game up. That's going to miss well outside for ball 2 at this point. 2-0 count on the Miners' shortstop. Nielsen really just needing to find the strike zone. He's finally able to do that there with that one. 2-1 count. Infield deep. Again, just hoping to get outs here at this point. He'll miss again, low and outside. The count now 3 balls and 1 strike. And Nielsen just needing to find his consistency here and find a way into that strike zone. The 3-1 pitch upcoming here to Atencio. He takes a big swing at it and misses it for strike 2. It's a nice pitch there from Nielsen. Again, keeping it on that outer part of the plate for the most part. The 3-2. Swung on and up and over the head of Scott for a base hit. They're going to send the runners, and that is going to be an RBI single, RBI double on the advance there by Atencio, as he will advance on the throw in to home. It's going to move Dabo over to 3rd. And just like that, this ball game is all tied up. Bingham able to get the timely hit on Britt Nielsen, and that is going to be the end of the ball game for him, as he will end up scoring all of the base runners that were left on by Will Dart. So he will be charged with all of those, and Nielsen will be held responsible for the 2 runners that are currently on, unable to get an out, unfortunately, as well. So just a real rough 2-batter sequence there for Britt Nielsen, as the Dons will jump back to the bullpen and make a pitching swap here, hoping to get 2 outs here and get themselves over to the bottom half of the 7th inning with a chance to win this one before it goes into extra innings. It's going to be number 20. It's Morley coming in for Spanish Fork. Pratt Morley on the season so far has made a pitching appearance. Came in and pitched an inning, allowing 3 hits and 1 run, a walk and a strikeout. And the freshman coming up in a huge situation here in this ballgame against Spanish Fork, looking for their 2nd win of the season. We're trending towards that here in the 7th inning. 3 runs coming across, though, to tie the ballgame up. Morley will be tasked to figure out a way to get 2 more outs, hopefully keep this ballgame tied, and get it over to the top of the order for Spanish Fork in inning number 7, and hopefully be able to produce a produce a run to walk this thing off. An excellent inning here by Bingham, as they've been able to rally and come back from a 7-4 deficit. And they'll be facing again.
Now
it's
number 4, Tyson McBride.
Able to chase a senior in Britt Nielsen and bring in a freshman in Pratt Morley. So runners on 2nd and 3rd. And Morley will throw one that is in the dirt and dug up by Nielsen for ball 1. So Atencio at 2nd, Dabo at 3rd. Morley does pump in a strike there to McBride, so it'll move the count now to 1 ball and 1 strike. McBride on the day is 0 for 3. He's flown out and he's struck out twice in this ball game. He'll tap that one foul, so the count will now move to 1 ball and 2 strikes. The catcher, Bauer Williams, due up next for Bingham. 7-7 ball game here on Spanish Fork 17. Really, the Dons just only know how to play close games, it feels like, especially as of late. Their last 2 games were extra inning games, and at this rate, kind of trending in a similar direction with runners on 2nd and 3rd and a tie ball game here in the 7th. The count now 2-2 on Tyson McBride. Going to tap one over towards his dugout and keep things going here with the count 2-2. Things starting to quiet down here. This kind of getting towards the evening side of things. A huge strikeout for Pratt Morley. He's able to get McBride down on strikes, and now just 1 out away here from getting over to the bottom half of the inning. He will have to deal with Bauer Williams, the number 6 hitter in the minors lineup. 1 for 3 on the day, a single in the 2nd. Gotten out in his last 2 at-bats, lined out and struck out. Big RBI opportunity here for him, though, with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Great composure here from the freshman. He's come in and gotten a strikeout and starts things off here with the first pitch strike to Williams. Time called, a little reset. Atencio at 2nd base and Dabo at 3rd base. A base hit would give the Miners the lead here. It's lifted out to center field, and the play is made out there by Warren. And that will end the top half of the 7th inning. 3 runs coming across for the Miners. A tough break here for the Dons as they were looking to close the book here in that top half of the inning. Instead, they will move on to the bottom half of the 7th, hoping to get a run here and walk this game off as we head over to that bottom half of the 7th. It gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Lance Wilson, State Farm, Two Jacks Pizza, and MVP Sports. Thankfully for the Dons, they will be sending up some of their big bats here in this inning. They're going to start things off with Nixon Warren, followed by Jackie Sorensen and Will Dart. So a couple guys at the top of the order for Spanish Fork. And so kind of some of your main run producers. And so they got to be feeling pretty good about being able to get one run across and hopefully end this game before it goes to extra innings, as you're seeing the coaches talk things over with the home plate umpires. There's going to be obviously some switches being made, potentially in the lineup as well as out on defense if they do need to go to an 8th inning. So Pratt Morley does his job, comes in, closes the door, gets a strikeout, and strands those runners over there at 2nd and 3rd. So nice job by the freshman to do his job, get those 2 outs, and get these Dons bats back up. So you do see Snyder getting warmed up for a 3rd inning of work. Boston Snyder allowing 2 runs so far in his relief appearance of Ian Stanley. And for the Miners, they're hoping that he can do whatever he can to put up a 0 here and force this game into extra innings. But again, he will be dealing with the 1, 2, and 3 hitters in this Dons lineup. So it will not be an easy task for their reliever. The wind's still blowing pretty fiercely out of the ballpark, essentially, blowing pretty much directly out to center field. It's kind of shifted between left center, right center, but basically it's just been if you get a ball hit out to that outfield, you're getting a little bit of extra oomph to it. And you've seen that in the outfield play. There's been a few balls that look like maybe would be caught, instead kind of caught a little bit extra and have gotten up and over center fielders' heads.
The Dons in the top of the 7th inning. Number 37, Nixon Warren.
Nixon Warren gets himself ready here for at-bat number 4 in this one. He's 0 for 2 on the day. He will foul away the first pitch for a strike. Took a walk in the 1st inning and has since grounded out and lined out. Pitch that will be outside, evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. 7-7 ball game in the bottom of the 7th here on Spanish Fork 17. Don's hoping to walk this one off, and that's a great start as that one is ripped out into shallow center field by Nixon Warren. He will lead things off here in this 7th inning with a single and really get things rolling here for Spanish Fork. Excellent job to get the bat on that one and send it right up the middle for a solid hit.
Now batting number 12, Jackie Sorensen.
Designated hitter Jackie Sorensen now up for Spanish Fork. A big hit in the 5th inning, hit a triple. Otherwise is 1 for 3 on the day. He will show bunt. They will throw over to first in an effort to limit the lead that Warren has over there at first base. See if Sorensen once again shows bunt. He does indeed. Tries to put one down, but will end up fouling it away for strike 1. Sorensen trying to make sure that he can get Warren into scoring position for the big bats of Dart and Nielsen already, with a couple big hits in this one as well, with Nielsen 2 for 3 on the day. Warren will slide back into first. Yeah, Sorensen ripped one out to center field that I think certainly got a little bit of extra wind assist, and then easily made his way into third with a stand-up triple. Shows bunt once again, lays one down, but it will squirt foul once again. Count will now be 0-2, and you imagine the bunt will be called off at this point. So Sorensen will need to protect the plate and do what he can with this 0-2 count. Warren's been pretty active on the base paths. Again, has some solid speed. Sorensen is showing bunt again. Interesting call here with 2 strikes. Got himself all ripping and roaring for that one, and pulls back as it goes up towards his eyes. So the count 1-2. I think more than anything, that was almost just trying to distract the pitcher kind of thing. And once again, shows bunt. Interesting choice here with 2 strikes, and he fouls it away, and that is going to be strike 3. I think the issue here is that Sorensen may not have realized that he had 2 strikes on him. In fact, he's super confused right now, as he will now make his way over to the dugout, as that is out number 1 in the inning. It's going to bring up Will Dart.
Now batting number 6, Will Dart.
So weird sequence there, as Sorensen will go down on strikes via the bunt. Definitely not something that you see every day at the ballpark. His Dart is now up, an excellent pickoff move there. Just a little bit slow, as they are really keeping tabs on Warren over there at first base. Dart for the day is 0 for 1. He did strike out in his first at bat, but then has gotten on base in his next 2 plate appearances, a walk and a hit by pitch, and that's going to just glance that outside part of the plate enough that Dart actually had to talk it over with the umpire a little bit. He's like, where was that call when I was on the mound? Is what I think what he was saying there. He's going to take a nice big swing at that one. Does get a little piece of it, but it'll move the count to 0-2. 7-7 ball game in the bottom of the 7th. The runner on first, the winning run potentially for Spanish Fork. One of their big hitters, Will Dart, up at the plate, staring down an 0-2 count. Cal Nielsen will be due up next here for Spanish Fork. The 0-2 upstairs. Good job by Dart to hold off on that one. Count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Things starting to quiet down a little bit in terms of the wind and the sun. Starting to really get into that kind of early evening at this point. Dart's going to have to back away from that one. Already got hit by one on the helmet. That one was precariously close to being a second one. Gets out of the way. It does advance Warren over to second base. So now in scoring position on the wild pitch from Snyder. And I have a little conference there between catcher, pitcher, and a couple of the infielders. Warren definitely with enough speed that if Dart can get a nice ball out into the outfield on a hit, that should be the ball game here for Spanish Fork. Certainly at the very least just hoping for a productive out that at least maybe gets Warren over to third base and a little bit closer. But again, this is certainly a guy that you want up if you're a Spanish Fork fan. Has been up in these types of moments several times in his career. The 2-2. Going to swing at one up at his eyeballs for strike 3. A little bit eager on that one. 2 strikeouts in this inning now for Snyder. And the Dons now down to the last out here of the 7th inning, hoping that this game does not go into extras. And
Now
it's a guy that's
batting number
been
11,
solid here
Cal
today. Cal
Nielsen.
Nielsen, 2 for 3 on the day with a couple singles, couple RBIs. Big moment here for the Dons cleanup hitter. He's going to send that one foul and out of play. So now an 0-1 count. He's also had a good day behind the dish as well. Has laid down a couple nice tags and threw out a guy stealing in the 4th. Always love seeing those. Warren over at second base in scoring position. Nielsen will call for time to reset things on this 0-1 count. And that strong wind blowing out to center field. That's where Nielsen ripped his last hit. It was right up the middle. He's going to hold off on that one. Good eye to keep from pulling the trigger. It'll move the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Tie ball game here in the 7th inning. Winning run for the Dons over at second base. And hoping for win number 2 here on the season. Nielsen will back away from the breaking pitch, but it will dance its way into the strike zone for strike 2. An excellent bender there from Boston Snyder. Snaps its way back into the strike zone. Big moment here, 1-2 pitch up coming from Snyder. Nielsen will hold off as that one goes well outside. It evens up the count at 2-2. Riley Lampson in the on-deck circle for Spanish Fork. Again, the winning run at second base right now. After 3 runs came across in the top half of this inning to tie the ball game up. The 2-2 to Nielsen is going to have to wait for a hot second, as be a quick move just to make sure that they're keeping things tight over there at second base. I say that, and then Warren, I think, just added like 2 or 3 more steps to his lead. Nielsen will watch that one, and he will make his way on over. I'm about to say that should be 3-2 count. So Nielsen will have to make the walk back over to home plate. A little bit eager to just get himself on base. Understandable. So 3-2 count now. Payoff pitch will be upcoming here, as there's going to be more discussion on the mound between catcher and the rest of the infielders. They all kind of, I see the smile on their faces about Nielsen heading over to first on the 3rd ball. But again, this is a very fun, interesting ball game with lots of stuff going on. A couple of lead changes. The biggest coming in the 4th inning, as the Dons were able to score 5 runs in that inning and take control of this ball game. Unfortunately, gave up the 3 runs in the top half of the inning to make this a tie ball game. The payoff pitch. Oh, what a pitch from Boston Snyder, as he ends up striking out 3 in this inning, and we're off to extra innings here as the score is tied up 7-7. We'll get you inning number 8 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17 bonus baseball time, as we are into extra innings of this one between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Bingham Miners. This is the 3rd straight extra inning game for Spanish Fork. That's just absolutely crazy stuff. Unfortunately for Spanish Fork, that's not turned out terribly well for them, as they've lost both of their other games in extra innings. However, they've got a freshman on the mound in Pratt Morley that looked pretty strong in that last inning, getting the last 2 outs in the 7th. And so he will be back out there for inning number 8, hoping to put up another 0 on the scoreboard. He will be dealing with the bottom part of the order for the Miners. That'll be Clausen, Schott, and Schaefer that will be due up here in this 8th inning for the Miners. And they lost their last game against the Colts, 2-3.
Leading off for the Miners in the top.
And they lost their game against Syracuse in extra innings as well. That one 5-4. So extra inning game number 3. Hopefully for the Dons, 3rd time is a charm here, and they'll get win number 2 on the season as well. So that's going to be a first pitch strike to Sawyer Clausen. Came into pinch hit for Talon Van Sickle in the 6th and then stayed in the ball game. He did strike out in that previous at bat and already in an 0-2 hole now against Morley. And very impressed with the freshman so far. Has really commanded the strike zone well. The 0-2 sent right up the middle off the glove of Morley. Field picks it up. The stretch is made over there at first for out number 1. Good job there by Field to stick with that. And also a nice stretch over there at first base by Johnson.
Cooper Schott.
So 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. And it will bring up their designated hitter Cooper Schott, who is 0 for 3 on the day. A couple ground outs and a pop-up for him. Matai Johnson coming into the game with Britt Nielsen coming out. So that one is going to miss for ball 1 to Schott. Showing bunt and pulls back, but it still gets that outside part of the plate for strike 1. The 1-1 to Schott is popped up into foul territory. All 3 give chase, first baseman, catcher, and pitcher, but it ends up floating away and will land harmlessly for strike 2. So 1-2 count now on the Miners' designated hitter. Love seeing the hustle from all 3 of the guys, though. That's fantastic stuff. So 1-2 count on Cooper Schott here in the top of the 8th inning. 7-7 ball game. Extra innings at this point. Lace down that third base line, but foul. It'll roll right along the fence there. Schott will dig back in with the count still 1-2. Skyridge, the next game upcoming here for Spanish Fork, as that one is going to be just a tick outside. Moves the count to 2-2. It'll be Skyridge Union on the 19th. Bountiful and Mountain Crest the following week, along with Green Canyon. Then region play will begin on the 8th against the Golden Eagles. This count will stay 2-2 here on Schott. For Bingham, they have a little bit of time in between this one and their game against Skyline. And then another bit of time between them and Skyridge. So that one is in there for a strike. You'll love to see that from the freshman. Has really just come in and pitched strong here. So far in this one, it's his 2nd strikeout There'll be 2 outs here now in the 8th
Now
inning,
batting number
and it'll
6,
bring up their number 9 hitter,
Schaefer.
Blake Schaefer. 1 for 3 on the day, as he was the one that really got things rolling in that 7th inning, started things off with a single that then led to 3 straight singles in that 7th inning, and was a big part of that 3-run game-tying run for the Miners, and he's going to get plucked by the first pitch and make his way on over to first base.
Now batting number 2, Dylan Frank.
So we are back to the top of the Miners order, and a 2 for 4 day from their leadoff man, Dylan Frank. 2 singles in the last 2 at-bats he's had. A single in the 5th and in the 7th. He scored both times. Dons hope they can find a way to get him out here and get on over to the bottom half of the 8th. Keep this ball game tied. Contact made. Popped into foul territory. Johnson gives chase. And is able to glove that thing. My goodness. Oh, you gotta love that from Matai Johnson. Lays out for that one, makes the catch in foul territory, and ends the top half of the 8th inning with just an absolutely beautiful catch out there. So this ball game stays tied 7-7 as we move on over to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Sports 17. That's MVP Sports, Lance Wilson State Farm, 2 Jacks Pizza, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Yeah, I can't say enough about that catch by Johnson. That was super difficult. Like, I mean, that was huge range. He's left-handed, and so like the angle of that is harder for him because he's got to catch that with his right hand. Like, a whole bunch of stuff there that was not playing in his favor, and he somehow comes away with that play and shuts the door on the 8th inning for Spanish Fork, which is exactly what they needed. And warming up still here for the Miners is Boston Snyder. As again, he's been pretty solid here in relief. He's only given up the 2 runs. So a 4th inning of work for their reliever. And they're hoping that he can put up a 0 once again, force this thing over into a 9th inning. Whereas on the other side of things for Spanish Fork, they would love nothing more than to find a way to get a run across here and end this ball game. It will be Riley Lamson, Britt Nielsen, and Brecken Anderson that are due up here to hit in this one for the Dons. With Nielsen out of the game, it is Pratt Morley currently in the on-deck circle. We'll see what happens there. See if they'll let Morley hit or if they're going to opt to pinch hit for him. So that one is laced but foul by Lamson. Lamson is 1 for 3 on the day. A pop-up in the 2nd, a single in the 4th, and a flyout in the 5th. They'll watch a pitch that will go low. This count will now move to 2-1 on the Dons left fielder. Gets a piece of that one, but it will once again go foul and even up the count at 2-2. Yeah, I can't say enough good things as well about Parker Morley, who's come in and pitched an inning and 2/3 of really great ball here for the Dons. Lamson will get just a little piece of that one and foul it away to stay alive at 2-2. Big moment here for the Dons, hoping to come away with the win here at Nelson Field, their 2nd victory on the season. The 2-2 to Lamson, high and tight little chin music to move the count now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. I know I got razzed quite a bit during the St. George tournament for saying chin music, but I hope that you baseball people understand what I'm saying, as that one is sent out into center field, and the play will be made out there for out number 1 of inning number 8. Line out to center by Riley Lamson for out number 1. And it will bring up the pitcher, Pratt Morley. Again, phenomenal inning in 2/3 so far for him on the mound, and hoping to be a part of the win here at the plate as well. He's going to get a piece of that one, and he's going to pop it up into shallow center field, and laying out for it is the second baseman, but it will be down for a base hit. Gotta love that from Pratt Morley. Come in, pitch a couple of solid innings, and then get yourself a base hit in your first at bat. Love that from the freshman. Now that was just beyond the outstretched glove of Andrew Dabo. Like, he absolutely laid out for that thing. Honestly thought he was going to come down with that, but gets just enough of it. So the winning run now on first base with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th here for Spanish Fork. And Brecken Anderson now up for the Dons. He'll take a healthy cut at one that was up above the letters for strike 1. A good day at the plate for the Dons' third baseman. 2 for 3 on the day. 2 singles in his last 2 at-bats in the 4th and the 6th. They do bring in Boston Duvall to run for Morley. They will preserve their pitcher. That one will miss and move the count to 1 ball and 1 strike on Anderson. One count here in the bottom of the 8th. Tie ball game 7-7. Don's hoping to find a way to get one across. Anderson will foul that away. The count now 1-2. Be another pinch hitter coming in for the Dons next as well. Oh, and that's a curveball that really does not miss by much, as the count will move to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Snyder very much not pleased with that particular call, and honestly, given my vantage point, I'm kind of agreeing with him. I felt like that one was probably a strike, so a little bit of grace there for Anderson, and he was able to keep himself alive by fouling that one away, keeping it at 2-2. The pinch hitter coming up here for Spanish Fork is number 13. This one's sent up to second. That's a potential double play opportunity here for the Miners, and they end up turning it. That's a huge one for the Miners, able to get Brecken Anderson to ground out into the double play. The score stays 7-7. We move on to a 9th inning of action here on Spanish Fork 17.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It's inning number 9 of this one between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Bingham Miners. We got some bonus baseball for you here on Spanish Fork 17. It has been kind of a crazy game here. Has been some big hits. We've seen a solo home run. We've seen 4 triples in this game. You don't see that very often in a ball game, but there have been 2 triples on each side for both teams, and just enough runs scored by Bingham there in that 7th inning to tie the ball game up 7-7, and then it's been 0 so far since then. And so we move on to a 9th inning of action. Pratt Morley back on the mound here for Spanish Fork. Inning and 2/3 so far for him. Has done a great job in relief. And he will be dealing with 2, 3, and 4 in the order for the Miners. Cam Beck, Andrew Dabo, and Abraham Atencio. First pitch will be just a tick outside for ball 1. Good day at the plate for Cam Beck, 2 for 3, solo home run, a single, has also taken a walk, the lone out, a strikeout in the 5th. And it looks like Morley maybe just trying to dance around him a little bit here with the count 2-0. Everything pretty far outside so far. He'll miss with that one as well. Low and outside, moving the count to 3-0. The freshman impressive so far again through inning and 2/3, and also getting himself a nice bloop single in that last inning. Pops that one in for a strike. Count now 3 balls and 1 strike. And we tend to just do mostly marathon games here on Spanish Fork 17, as we also ended up calling 2 extra inning games on Saturday as part of the tournament for Maple Mountain, that the Dixie Sunshine Classic that was played at Flyer Field. Yeah, a couple of long extra inning games there too. So I'm sorry, it might be me, along with also just Spanish Fork again, this being their 3rd extra inning game, 3rd straight one of their season, as that one is sent out over to second. Field will make the play and get on over to first for out number 1. While we're talking about, things that I've done that I may need to, apologize for and lay on my sword for, other than obviously being a bad luck charm here with extra innings, I also mentioned a few times about Maple Mountain in the tournament that they were would end up being 1-3 in the tournament. They actually ended up winning the game that I thought that they lost against Box Elder, and so I mentioned that a few times, and so I apologize for that. I saw it as a loss, but it was in fact a win, which we love. But I know that was something that was reported on the YouTube page. Thanks for catching me. Thanks for correcting me. I am not perfect, and so please, if you hear something that I say that's wrong, you are more than welcome to shout it out and let us know, and I will more than happily correct that error, as that one is going to be taken upstairs for ball 1 to Andrew Dabo. Dabo has been on base 3 times so far in this ball game, as he will watch that one hit the outside part of the plate for a strike. Had a triple, one of the RBI triples in that 3rd inning, got hit by a pitch in the 5th, and then took a walk in the 7th. That walk being the first run that came across as part of that 3-run 7th inning that tied this ball game up. This count moves to 2-1 as another one misses low and outside. The sun is out in full force now, no cloud coverage, and I can feel it on my eyeballs as this thing is popped up out there into right field. Marziel will make the needed adjustment to make the play out there. And that will be out number 2 in the inning. And we'll bring up a very dangerous bat in Abraham Atencio. 2 for 4 on the day. Another guy with an RBI triple as well as a single in the 7th. The single being the 2-run single that tied this ball game up. So 3 RBIs on the day for the cleanup hitter in the Miners lineup. So definitely doing his job, doing his part. Big swing there and a miss for strike 1. And really has done a nice job here. I can't say enough things here about Pratt Morley as a freshman coming in and dealing with a very good Miners lineup. He'll hit one out into shallow left field for a base hit. So the beat rolls on here for Abraham Atencio, now 3 for 5 on the day. Very big productive day at the plate for Atencio, and it will bring up Tyson McBride, who has kind of had the reverse of Atencio. Been a rougher day at the plate for him. 0 for 4 on the day, and he has struck out 3 times so far in this ball game. Oh, that is an excellent curveball from Morley. Great movement, just dips to the lower outside part of the strike zone. He'll step off, reset things with the count 0-1. 2 outs in the top of the 9th. The score is still 7-7 after Bingham tied it up in the top of the 7th inning. A little bit high, trying to get Atencio to chase one up near his eyeballs. They'll even the count at 1-1. Takes a swing and pops it up. Gets out of play and out of the way and moves the count to 1-2. A throw over to second will be just a little bit behind. Nice job there by Nielsen. Regardless, just nice job there for Atencio to get up and on his horse to get the stolen base there. It's McBride now looking at a count of 2-2. Ball gets away from Nielsen, and enough that Atencio now has made his way now over to third base. As the bobble there by Nielsen, just enough to give Atencio the breathing room he needed to make it over. And with 2 pitches, he's moved from first base to third base. Very advantageous situation now for the Miners, as a base hit will give them the lead here. It is popped up by McBride, up and out of play. So he will stay alive with the count still full. Atencio at third after the stolen base and the bobble at home plate. McBride up with the count 3-2. The score 7-7. The freshman Morley so far absolutely brilliant under pressure. He will throw a 4th ball, and that will now put runners on the corners.
Now batting number 5,
with 2 outs here
Williams.
in the top of the 9th. And he's going to bring up Bauer Williams. It will also prompt a mound visit here. As they will talk things over with Pratt Morley and try and figure out if he will be staying in this ballgame. Again, the freshman through 2 1/3 has done a nice job here of limiting the damage, and so they will opt to keep him in and hope that he can get this last out and strand those runners over there at first and third, give Spanish Fork a chance to win this ball game in the bottom half of the inning. And he will deal with the Miners catcher Bauer Williams, who's 1 for 4 on the day. A single in his first at bat in the 2nd inning, followed by a line out, a strikeout, and another line out. Big moment here for both teams as the Miners absolutely threatening. And oh my, what a pitch from Pratt Morley. Again, it's mostly been kind of throwing stuff on the outside part of the plate. This one, a nice curveball that just clips the inside part of the plate for strike one. He's going to kind of go back to that same well, and Williams will foul it away. So an early 0-2 hole now on the Miners catcher. Atencio over at third. McBride over at first. So runners on the corners with 2 outs. The leading run here for the Miners just a little bit away. Gets the swing and miss. Nielsen will set up to throw. And the play will be made over at first base. So another strikeout for Pratt Morley. And that will close the door on the top half of the 9th inning. Runner stranded at first and third for the Miners. Pratt Morley will continue a very, very good relief appearance here for the Dons. The score will stay tied 7-7. As we move on over to the bottom half of the 9th inning, gives us yet another opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Triple T, Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, 2 Jacks Pizza, and Lance Wilson State Farm. We hope that you've enjoyed the broadcast here today on the channel or on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. We hope that you've already clicked that subscribe button and joined the Spanish Fork 17 family. If you haven't, you can do it now. Did you do it? I hope you did, because there's lots of great content on there, whether it be our studio stuff or our stuff that we have all sorts of fun high school sports, Fiesta Days coverage, lots of great stuff on the YouTube page. So make sure to join the Spanish Fork 17 family at youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. And this is going to be interesting here for the Miners, because at this point, Boston Snyder has pitched 4 innings, a really good 4 innings. He only allowed the 2 runs there in his relief appearance. But do they try to send him out for a 5th inning of work? Is his arm prepared for a 5th inning of work? So I'm not sure. We haven't yet seen a new. Oh, there he is there. So they are going to send him out for inning number 5. So love to see that. Again, he's done a great job here in relief of Ian Stanley, who really, other than one big inning from Stanley, also was pretty solid. Again, the Dons absolutely tagged him in the 4th inning for 5 runs, but Snyder, on the other hand, has done a nice job just allowing 2 more runs. And so they opt to stick with him, and we'll see what happens here in inning number 9 for the Dons. They will be sending up batters 8, 9, and 1 in their order. They were set to bring in a pinch hitter, and they still are opting to go with that. So they'll start things off by pinch hitting for Cal Marziel. It'll be then Tegan Scott and Nixon Warren due up here in this 9th inning for Spanish Fork. Again, all we know is long games here at this point on Spanish Fork 17. So we hope that you've buckled in. You've hopefully maybe gotten some popcorn or something, some food in the system now that we're drifting into early evening.
Rhythm Fagan.
And it's Rhythm Fagan that's pinch hitting for Spanish Fork. Love a guy whose name is Rhythm. That's a really fun time. We hope he can hit some high notes here in his at-bat for sure. I'm sure he's heard all the music puns because of his name. I'm sorry, but also not sorry about that for him. The sophomore will watch a first pitch strike from Snyder. Gets some solid contact there, but fouls it away, so he'll now be looking at no balls and 2 strikes. This is the first at-bat of the season for Fagan, according to Max Preps, and he will go down on strikes, looking at one that will get the outside part of the plate. So out number 1 here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. And it will now be Tegan Scott who comes up for the Dons. Scott is 0 for 3 on the day.
Now batting number 22, Tegan Scott.
He grounded out in the 3rd. hit into a fielder's choice in the 4th and then lined one out to the second baseman in the 6th inning. He'll take a first pitch strike. That one will miss just by a little bit and even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Scott, the kind of the main pitcher on the staff here this season for Spanish Fork, has already made a couple of appearances. His last one against the Cottonwood Colts, and really actually a solid performance for him. It went through 6 innings and only allowed the 2 runs. As that one will miss as well, and we'll move the count now to 3 balls and 1 strike on the Spanish Fork shortstop. He'll take a nice cut at that one and foul it away. The count will now move to full. Don's hoping to be able to score a run here in this inning and end this ball game. And that's a nice way to do it, as Scott will get his way on over to first base and take the walk with 1 out here in the 9th inning, and he will turn the lineup over and get things up and over to Nixon Warren now for Spanish Fork.
Now batting number 37.
And a good view of
Warren.
Snyder, who I've been impressed with him. I think he's got a really nice pitch mix, and he's done a good job of controlling both sides of the plate. I think they've got a lot of good potential here with this kid. That is going to be in there for ball 1 to Nixon Warren. Warren on the day is 1 for 3. He hit a single in his last at bat. He did also take a walk in inning number 1, but he's also grounded out and lined out. Just barely misses there with that one, as the count will now move to 2-0. Snyder, the junior, with a very good relief appearance here for the Miners. He'll get one in there for a strike to the Dons center fielder Warren. Count now moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Throw over to first. Really doesn't do much else than just dirtying up Scott's jersey. Count will stay 2-1. Big swing there from Warren, but he will miss at that offering, and count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jackie Sorensen due up next for Spanish Fork, has ripped a triple in this one. Time called. Still reset things and get things ready for this 2-2 count. 1 out in the bottom of the 9th, the winning run for Spanish Fork at first base. Warren will bloop one up and over the glove of the Miners' second baseman. Been a few of those for Dabo today that have just been just a tick beyond his outstretched glove, so it'll be back-to-back base runners here in the 9th inning for Spanish Fork. Scott now at second, Warren
Now
at
batting
first
12,
after the little
Sorensen.
bloop single, and Jackie Sorensen, the designated hitter, now into the batter's box for Spanish Fork. Winning run now in scoring position for the Dons, and 2 of their big hitters coming up here in Sorensen and Will Dart. Every moment at this point is a big moment for Spanish Fork, but I mean, this really is a time where you would hope that your number 2 or 3 hitter will find a way to close the door on this ball game, as that one will be taken for strike one on the outside part of the plate. Sorensen went down on strikes in his last at bat by bunting one foul, which you don't see that one every day. And so hopefully, as he showed bunt there, he's learned from his last at bat and will realize that once he gets to 2 strikes, maybe call off the bunt and just find a way to hit the ball into play. Runners on first and second with 1 out. The 0-1 pitch from Snyder. Curveball that does not snap back into the strike zone. Moves the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Getting near on 6:30 at this point. My clock says 6:21, so almost 3 hours of baseball for you here on Spanish Fork 17. We hope that you're enjoying it, as that one was swung on and missed by Sorensen, and the count's now 1-2. One more big hit here from Spanish Fork would end the ball game. Hopefully that can come off the bat of Sorensen or Dart. The 1-2 pitch will be a tick high and evened up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scott at second base after taking a walk and moving on over there after the bloop single by Nixon Warren, who stands at first base. Scott the important runner, as soon as he scores, this ball game is over. That one just barely misses the inside part of the plate. This count now moves to full on the Dons' designated hitter. Baseball sometimes can be a game of inches. If that thing were just an inch the other way, I think it would have been called a strike. Time called by Sorensen. He'll take a breather and recollect himself and think things over here on that 3-2 count. Tegan Scott there at second base, getting a nice lead. Representing the winning run here in the 9th inning. The payoff pitch is inside, and that is going to load the bases up with 1 out in the 9th inning and brings up the big bat, Will Dart. Dart just needing to find a way to score Scott from third base to end this ball game. A sacrifice fly would do it. A good clean hit would do it. Good hard contact somewhere would hopefully end this ball game. And certainly Dart is a guy that knows how to hit a ball hard. He's done a really good job of it so far this season. Coming into this game, he was batting .500. He's done a nice job here today. Has struck out twice, but has also gotten on base twice, has taken a walk, and then did get a scary moment there in the 5th inning. Got hit in the helmet with a pitch, but was able to shake it off and stay in the ball game. Dart started this game for Spanish Fork and was oh so close to the complete game. Got through 6 1/3 before running into trouble in the 7th inning.
Will Dart.
Britt Nielsen came in and gave up the runs that Dart had left stranded on, the runners that Dart had stranded on base. But otherwise, a solid pitching performance nonetheless from Dart, and an opportunity to put a stamp on this ball game with a good hit. He'll swing through that one for strike 1. Scott, the winning run over at third base. Again, just really more than anything, just needing some kind of solid contact here. The 0-1 will squirt away. Dart now looking at no balls and 2 strikes. Cal Nielsen, the catcher, with 2 RBIs already in this game. On deck for Spanish Fork. The 0-2 from Snyder is going to catch the outside part of the plate for strike 3, and Will Dart was not having any of it, as he's upset that one is how he goes down. That's his 3rd strikeout on the day. Again, a really good job here by Boston Snyder to to battle through this bases loaded jam. Gets the big hitter Dart down on strikes. Now down to 2 outs here in the 9th. Nielsen is going to rip one into shallow left center, and that is going to be the ball game. Cal Nielsen rips the RBI single, and the Dons will walk this thing off in the 9th inning. Huge hit by their senior catcher. They are going to win this ball game 8-7. What a marathon of a game. We'll get you a recap of this one when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. The Dons come away with the victory here against the Bingham Miners. The score 8-7 after 9 innings of well-battled baseball here on Spanish Fork 17. This one was a really fun one, and this one was a needed one for Spanish Fork. This was their 3rd straight extra inning ball game. The previous 2 came away in the loss category, so to be able to come away with this one with the win, get their 2nd win of the season, just feels like a big shift here for Spanish Fork. It's again was quite the battle here. The Miners were able to tie this thing up in the 7th inning with 3 runs, and then the final hit here by Cal Nielsen to finally put Spanish Fork back in the win column. It's been a little bit of a rough season here. They got roughed up in their tournament games down there in St. George. So to come back here to Nelson Field and come away with the victory has got to just feel so sweet for this Dons team. They got a great effort from Pratt Morley on the mound. The freshman came in huge for the Dons. 2 innings and 2/3 to close this thing out for Spanish Fork. Struck out 3, only allowed 1 hit, did hit a batter, but really came in and stopped the bleeding in a 7th inning where really Bingham could have come away with this ball game if Pratt Morley doesn't come in and close the door, and just pitched a really nice couple innings there for Spanish Fork. So I wanted to shout him out before we gave our MVP Sports MVP of the game to, of course, Cal Nielsen, who just came away with the walk-off single. But that wasn't all he did in this ball game. He was 3 for 5 on the day, had a 2 RBI single in the 5th inning as well. So came away with 3 RBIs on the day, 3 hits. Also came away very impressed with him behind the plate as well. We highlighted that a few times during the tournament, but he threw someone out at second base on just a beautiful throw. So I love being able to shout out his defense as well as the potent offense that he provided for the Dons. So Cal Nielsen, our MVP Sports MVP of the game. A huge win here for the Dons in extra innings over the Bingham Miners, 9-8. For our crew here at Spanish Fork 17, I'm Andrew LaRose. I hope that you've enjoyed this 3-hour marathon here, and it's even sweeter when it is a victory. So 8-7, the Dons over the Miners. We will catch you next time on Spanish Fork 17.